Well, here's Bojack here, doing my first video in my new home. I've been here about almost 2 months now, and everyone's weighing in on Ghostbusters, the trailer for 2016. I've seen all of them. There are three. There's the first one done by Sony, which, you know, you go, what the fuck? What the hell is this? Four guys save the city 30 years ago. And you're thinking, oh yay, we're going to house the Ghostbusters from the 1984, and then we get this women, And don't get me wrong, I could care less if they were women. In fact, Kirsten, one of them's name is Kirsten. She does the Target lady on SNL, and the one that in the trailer has the almost like the Stooges scene, with the hair. And she goes, too much? I could care less. But the way they packaged it, the way they did it, was, in my opinion, alienating the fans. Kind of a way. And then the director, basically alienating the fan base, kind of turned me off of it for a while. Until I saw the second trailer, which is the fan trailer, which they added no new photos, no new film, and they just added the original Ghostbuster music and make me want to go see it, which I'm kind of looking forward to. Then there's the third one, which is the second trailer by Sony, and it's new footage, and it looks decent. They even do they take a shot at The Exorcist, which nobody had ever done before. 40 years, nobody had done the Exorcist joke, where the head turns 180 degrees, and they do that. And then do the whole, may the power of Christ compel you, kind of bit. Instead of water, she just bitch slaps her. But I'm also kind of against it in a way of Melissa McCarthy. In my opinion, she's not funny. She's the only one in that movie that has no comedic sense whatsoever. And she even admitted that the first trailer was confusing. Didn't like what was on? It was on a Tonight Show type show. And the first trailer was really confusing. I think that's what turned people away from it. There's no doubt about it. You look at the original Ghostbusters, everything holds up in it. Ivan Reitman as the director, Dan Aykroyd writing it along with Ivan Reitman and Harold Ramis, who, by the way, is one of the funniest men I have ever encountered in my almost 30 years of watching movies. And then you had Bill Murray, which, nobody is better at just dry humor than him, but I think that doing it the way they did made a whole lot of haters jump on board. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for equality and everything like that, but the way you package a movie, you don't do it the way they did. It was just like acknowledging the first film and then just throwing it away like a piece of garbage. That's why people got upset. That's why all the haters bound together. All this, And if you look at Star Wars The Force Awakens, it was literally a reboot, but also added to the story. You had Ren, which basically had the same kind of, was on the same setting as Luke Skywalker in A New Hope. You had Han Solo and Chewie come back, which was badass, by the way. And then you had, Leia. And the way they packaged it, even in the trailers, they didn't release a whole lot. So it really added to the fuel. We gotta go see what's gonna happen. We gotta go see what's gonna happen. That's what they should have done. They did the exact same thing with the 2009 Star Trek, with a whole new cast, but you had the element they had the lore from the first series. You had Leonard Nimoy, one of the greatest actors of all time, and contributed a lot to not only Star Trek, but to other projects on this planet. Had to give a nod to that. You look back at that, and the way they packaged it, they actually had a guy that was funny as Scotty, Simon Pegg, which I've watched his career since I had my first DVD, Shaun of the Dead. We'll talk about that later in another video. But Ghostbusters, the graphics, from what I've seen, I don't know, it looks almost like Scooby-Doo type shit from like the first Scooby-Doo movie. Or the second one, was it Monsters Island? That looked just weird. If you look back at the original Ghostbusters, you know, they basically had one guy who they said, who did the sets, that the thing was he built Alexandria in a day. They really worked hard on those sets. They did it. They did, the puppeteering was great for the Hellhounds. The way they did Slimer was great. The way they did the Ghost was kind of cartoonish, but they also felt real. And it was more like, it was almost like a physical special effect, but then not. And you look back at the second one, you had more of, not a whole lot of visuals, but more of, I hate to say, but slime effects. There's nothing but slime in that second movie. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid with that goo coming out of the tub. I almost didn't take a bath for a week. Yeah, that movie scared me a lot. And then you look at the, nobody else has brought this up, the video game for the 360. I played it, scared the shit out of me. Even though I play video games like a fat guy eats tacos, okay? I consume them. You look at the video game and compare it to what you've seen in the movie or in the trailer, you actually see a couple elements. You see the gargoyle type monster on... I wish I knew her name, I just don't know. Please don't get mad at me for saying the black lady, because I hate saying the word black. Alright, the Ernie Hudson equivalent. There we go, we'll do that. We'll do the Ernie Hudson equivalent. And you had a nod to the Slimer, which, you know, Slimer's iconic. He got his own TV show in the 80s. Oh, by the way, look that on YouTube for the real Ghostbusters. Don't look up Ghostbusters, you ain't gonna get nowhere. You're gonna get some weird-ass 70s cartoon from the 80s. But you had some things in there from that. You even see the one who plays the Target lady on Saturday Night Live almost looks like she's firing a boson dart from the video game. You know, so I look forward to what they're going to do on that. If they were going to incorporate not just things from the two movies, but also the video game. Which, by the way, best Ghostbuster video game ever. That's the best, probably the best video game I'd ever played on the 360 period was Ghostbusters. It was different. But just the way they package it, they just made a whole lot of people hate it. I'm not against women having equality, but you gotta think when you're doing a movie what this is gonna target. Ghostbusters is not only a movie from the 80s and not only is a classic, but you also gotta think it's a New York movie. Those movies are the most loved movies in all of cinema, at least here in the United States, if not the world. Movies who are basically centered on, like, I'll give you an example. When they did Ghostbusters, the very first one in 1984, they had a lot of extras from the city. There's even a story that I got from the DVD, you know, extras. When they were filming the last part of the movie, what would become the last part of the movie, when they had the whole car on the ground, they had shut down 60% of the city. And Dan Aykroyd spots Isaac Asimov. He wrote science. He was one of the greatest science fiction writers of their age, of Dan Aykroyd's age. He's like, "Oh, Mr. Isaac Asimov, Dan Aykroyd from the Ghostbusters." He looks at him and goes, "Are you responsible for this?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's disgusting," and just walks away because he couldn't get home. Nobody could get home. You had all these extras and had the whole city shut down so they could film, and then they would go back to LA and rebuild the whole set to make it move and stuff like that. You know, so the way they did the Ghostbusters, not only the visual effects and stuff like that, but the stories and the extras. You know, it's centered in New York City. It's the Big Apple. And from what it looks like to me, I'm going to put this out there, the Marshmallow Man don't look no cuddly. He's got teeth. What the fuck? He's not supposed to be some Godzilla type thing. Well, I mean, he is, but he's not supposed to be like this evil marshmallow. It looks like something from Goosebumps. You know, like the evil sponge thing that's alive or something like that. That's what it reminded me of. It was just weird. And it looks like they almost have the same setting for the end as the very first movie. It looks like almost the same building in that one little half-second clip. You got to really pay attention to all the trailers to figure it out. And just what I hope for this movie is the original Ghostbuster music. It has to have it. And if you never saw the second Ghostbusters, the best music in that one was the Bobby Brown song. Oh shit, I can't remember what the hell it was. It's on GTA 5, so On Our Own, that's his song. Bobby Brown's On Our Own. That was such a great song when they're running around the city after they said, "We're back!" You know? Just, it's got to be homages to that and also to some new things, you know, like, when she's beating, the Ernie Hudson equivalent is beating that, girl, and Melissa McCarthy, and she gets up and says, "Oh, that's going to hurt in the morning." It's an homage to Tommy Boy with Chris Farley, where he said, "That's going to leave a mark." No, that's what she says. That's what she said. She said, "That's going to leave a mark." So, you're going to get other things that's going to be homages, but you just the way you did it, the director who basically called the geeks assholes, that's not a great way to start a new film. You're basically ensuring its demise. Because, granted, I'm still going to go see it, hopefully. You know, got to be able to afford it. You know, Bojack's poor. Sorry. I'm ghetto. But, it's not a great way to start a movie. The movie's not even out yet, and it's already getting the worst YouTube video of all time. What is it? The worst trailer, most disliked trailer of all time? I mean, come on. That's not even probably the finished version. If that's the finished version, we're all fucked. Because if that's the way Hollywood's heading, no wonder John Hughes left Hollywood in the 2000s after Home Alone 3. It's no wonder. Because he saw the way Hollywood was going. If you don't know who John Hughes is, he made Breakfast Club. He made Weird Science. Great fucking movie, by the way. Better write these down because these are classics. He did Home Alones 1, 2, and 3. Or at least his productions did the third one. I don't know if he didn't direct it, but John Hughes had a huge thing on Home Alone 1 and 2. He did Uncle Buck. He did Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That was almost the only adult movie he did. And
tell him why it was considered rated R.
Oh yeah, probably it's the only John Hughes movie that it had. I don't know how many times he said the word fuck. I think he said it 37 times or 17, but it's just fucking hilarious. Steve Martin had never had to say that word so many times in his illustrious career. I also think he did. I don't think he did Ferris Bueller. I have to think about that. Bojack loses his mind only at age 29. But that's it. I recommend you seeing it for yourself and go and see the movie so that you can actually judge it. Don't judge the movie based on what social media or whatever. Don't pay attention to Facebook, Twitter, or even really YouTube. Because there were even haters for Star Wars The Force Awakens. There were. And turned out to be one of the best movies ever. My opinion it was. Great fucking movie. So, please subscribe. I'm going to have more videos on the way. Hopefully. When I ever have the mind to do it. So I'll check you later.